Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Arizona.
Finally back home in Arizona, just as the competition heats up. The Diamondbacks ready for the stretch run as the race for a postseason spot continues. And it's the most important homestand of the year beginning tonight. So join us as we kick it off with the first of three against the Dodgers on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthume and Bob Brenly along the way. All right, here we go. This is a big homestand here. We've got three division leaders coming into town, three first-place teams, three likely postseason teams. And, Bob, if the Diamondbacks want to join them in October, they need to show us something on this homestand.
Oh, absolutely. They need to show us the team they were in the first half of the season when everything was clicking. Every time they needed a hit, they got a hit. Every time they needed a well-pitched game, they got that. All three of these teams are loaded and ready to go in the second half of the season.
Cubs will be here this weekend. The Astros Monday and Tuesday. That's a four-game home and home with Houston. But we start tonight, three against those dreaded Dodgers, and the Diamondbacks have one of their best pitchers on the mound in the series opener, unbeaten in his last two starts at Zach Godley.
Yeah, one start against the Cardinals, one against the Cubs on that last road trip. The D-backs only won 5 games. Zach Godley won 2 of them. He's been up for every challenge thrown his way, and this will be a challenge for Zach tonight.
Sure will be. The Dodgers are rolling. They'll send Kenta Maeda to the mound. He is winless this year in 2 starts against the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, a total of 9 innings pitched in those 2 starts. He's given up 13 hits and 10 earned runs, 5 of those coming via the home run.
So the D-backs a chance to slow down that historic Dodger pace. It's the first of 3 from Chase Field on Fox Sports Arizona. Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by Gila River Casinos. Earn rewards 10 times faster than ever before with the card by Gila River Casinos. Sign up for the card today. By Chaz Roberts, air conditioning and plumbing. Choose Chaz. By Jack in the Box and the Jumbo Jack, a home run for your mouth. By Santan Ford. We are Santan Ford. By the Donor Network of Arizona. Sign up, save lives. Visit donornetworkaz.org. And by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world.
Arizona Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by your Valley Honda dealers, where you get more standard features for less money. By Gigablast, internet from Cox. Get ready for the gig life. By Oregano's, step up to the plate for a guaranteed home run. At Oregano's, your neighborhood pizza joint, location statewide. And by State Farm, here to make life go right. Talk to an agent today or call 1-800-STATE-FARM.
Well, put this date on your calendar, D-backs fans. MLB just announced the National League Wild Card game Wednesday, October 4. We're trying to make sure that it's right here at Chase Field. This is a big stretch on this homestand. It starts next against the Dodgers. Get this thing cranked up. Steve Berthew, Bob Brenly, and Kate Longworth with you as the D-backs begin a critical stretch and perhaps their biggest test this year. 10 straight games against first-place teams, the Dodgers, Cubs, and Astros. 8 of them here at home, all division-leading clubs that almost certainly are headed to the postseason. That's where the D-backs want to be, trying to catch these Dodgers. Your lineup for LA, presented by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Here's how Dave Roberts is going to run them out there tonight. Chris Taylor leading off out in left field. Corey Seager will be at shortstop. Justin Turner at third base. Valley product Cody Bellinger at first base. Yasmani Grandal doing the catching. Logan Forsythe will be at second base with Jock Peterson in center. Yasiel Puig in right. And the right-hander Kenta Maeda on the mound.
Ram truck starter for the D-backs is Zach Godley, who begins tonight riding a 13-inning scoreless streak, 5-4. And if he had enough innings to qualify, Zach would have the 4th best ERA in the National League.
But all the numbers, you look up and down the stat sheet, Zach Godley has had an outstanding season. He's held the 1, 2, and 3 hitters in opposing lineups to a 185 average. When behind in the count, it's a 143 average. First batter of an inning, a 167 average. Just keep doing what you've been doing.
Nationwide Vision Centers has the Diamondbacks defense.
A.J. Pollock will be out in center field. David Peralta in left. J.D. Martinez in right. Left side of the infield will be Jake Lamb and Ketel Marte. The right side, Daniel Descalso, Paul Goldschmidt. Chris Iannetta behind the plate tonight for right-hander Zach Godley.
Behind the plate for the umpires, it's Alan Porter, Alfonso Marquez at first base, Hunter Wendelstadt, the second base umpire, and it's Rob Drake at third. D-backs 4-6 against the Dodgers this year. They've won 2 of 3 versus LA here at Chase Field. Took 2 out of 3 in a 3-game set here back in April. Chris Taylor set to lead it off, and this critical homestand is underway. The first of 3 against the Dodgers there, strike 1. Taylor's had a remarkable year, 312, 15 homers. He's kind of come out of nowhere here.
Well, you look at his last 3 years, 2014, 15, and 16. He played a total of 120 games. This will be his 94th game this season. And the reason he's played so much more is because he's done so much more. He only had 68 hits in the 3 seasons before this one, 104 already this year, 45 extra base hits this season as opposed to 17. He's just having a career year.
Hitting home runs, stealing bases, batting leadoff. Godley ahead 0-2. Here comes the curveball. Well, it's a fastball there. He loves to throw that curveball in 2 strike counts. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Taylor's been crushing it lately for the Dodgers. He homered in 3 consecutive games last week.
That was the curveball.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Well, if you're going to miss in your favor, and that was an unhittable curveball that time.
The dangerous Corey Seager on deck. Not sure there's a hitter in this lineup who isn't dangerous lately.
No kidding.
Dodgers come in here on a historic pace. Taylor fights that one off and dunks it into right field, a leadoff single. Well, here, BB, it's time for your Valley Honda dealers. Key to the game.
Pretty simple. Just keep it in the yard. In the National League, only the Washington Nationals have more home runs than the Dodgers, and Zach Godley's done a nice job of that this year. He's only surrendered 6 home runs in just over 94 innings pitched.
Leadoff man aboard for Seager, 308, 19 homers. He's been very aggressive early in counts lately, looking to ambush up there. That one's in the dirt, ball 1. Seager red hot, 9 for 16 in his last 4 games. Jake Lamb in a couple of steps at third, off the bag against the left-hand hitter. Marte almost behind the second base bag, the shortstop. Bounce to second, double play ball. Descalso for 1, Marte, and they roll it. That's a big part of Zach Godley's game. 2 down.
Taylor made. Easy flip for Descalso. Marte has plenty of time to clear the sliding runner and get off a strong throw to first, and plenty of time to get Seager.
2 down for Justin Turner, who is the National League's leading hitter, batting .349 with 13 home runs. He homered both Saturday and Sunday in the Dodgers wins over the Mets at Citi Field. First pitch curveball from Godley. It's 0-1. Here's a look at the Diamondbacks defensively. Zach Godley, one of his keys this year has been quick, efficient early innings. In 15 starts, he's given up a total of 2 runs in the first inning. Ahead of Turner, 0-2. Dodgers 79-32. 15.5 games over Colorado for the National League West Division lead. Diamondbacks are 16 behind LA. Zach Godley gets a double play ball and a strikeout. Diamondbacks coming up against Kenta Maeda. First crack at your Ram truck starting pitcher for the Dodgers. It's the right-hander Kenta Maeda. 10-4, a 3.79 ERA. He has really pitched well lately, Bob. He's won his last 4 starts.
Yeah, over those last 4 starts, a total of 22 innings pitched, only 16 hits allowed, and 3 earned runs. He's had his struggles against the Diamondbacks, as we documented earlier, but he's on quite the roll right now.
Valley Chevy Dealers has your D-backs lineup tonight.
Peralta will lead it off once again out in left field. A.J. Pollock in center field. Jake Lamb at third base. Paul Goldschmidt at first base. J.D. Martinez out in right field. Daniel Descalso will be at second base. A bottom third of Chris Iannetta catching. Ketel Marte at short, and Zach Godley on the mound.
Freight Train leads it off. David Peralta.
Maeda has the whole kitchen sink of an arsenal out there. 4-seamer, 2-seamer, cutter, curveball, slider, changeup.
302 and 10 homers for Peralta. That cutter is a new pitch for him this year, and it's really made a difference. Here's the Maeda changeup, and it's 1-1. Maeda last year relied heavily on his slider. He threw it as much as he threw his fastball, and had some problems with that pitch against left-hand batters. And they're trying to come up with something else. Peterson broke in, and it's over his head. And the Freight Train is on the tracks. He's going to stop at second, a leadoff double. Boy, Jock Peterson got a bad read. He broke in, and then it was too late.
Yeah, Jock Peterson got his hat cocked back on his head. It's not always involved in the game, especially early on, and he gets surprised by how hard David Peralta hit this ball to straightaway center field. Kind of glided in a step or two, and then turned around and chased it all the way to the wall at the 4:13 mark. Great start.
Leadoff double, Peralta's 23rd double this year. He's at second for A.J. Pollock. A.J. 289 with 5 homers.
Got to move him when your offense has been struggling to score runs and coming up with those big hits with runners in scoring position, especially with 2 outs. Sometimes just get back to the basics. Runner at second, nobody out. Move him to third base. Try to hit that ball to the right side. Ideally, you get a base hit to the right side. At worst, you move David to third base with 1 out.
1-1. Couple of sliders from Kenta Maeda. When he gets in trouble, that's his preferred pitch. Goldie in the cleanup spot tonight. Jake Lamb on deck. Fab 5 in place at the top of the order for Torey Lovullo tonight. Fastball up, missed. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Mentioned Maeda mixing in that cutter. His cutter doesn't run in much on a lefty or away from a righty. It kind of acts like Zach Greinke's slider. It's got more vertical movement than it does lateral movement. That's to the right side, but just foul.
Maeda is one of those guys. It's a little tough to evaluate what he's throwing out there. I looked on a couple of the different statistical websites, and they said he didn't throw any sliders in one game, but he threw a lot of cutters. And the next start, he threw a lot of sliders and no cutters. So I think sometimes the people who identify those pitches have trouble differentiating between those 2 pitches.
Yeah, his cutter and slider look awfully similar. In any event, 2-2 on A.J. Full count, 3-2 with Lamb on deck. Jake Lamb has very good career numbers against Kenta Maeda. There's some ownage there. Just inside, trying to change up that time. A double and a walk open up the Diamondback first. Here's the Dodgers defense. That's presented by Nationwide Vision Center.
Yeah, we've already seen Jock Peterson in action out there in center field. He'll be flanked by Chris Taylor in left, Yasiel Puig in right. The human troll doll, Justin Turner down at third base. Corey Seager at shortstop. Logan Forsythe at second. Cody Bellinger over at first base. Yasmani Grandal doing the catching for Kenta Maeda.
Big chance for Jake Lamb, 265 and 23 homers. He has hit Maeda very well. 9 for 20 in his career, including a pair of home runs. Peralta, the runner at second, Pollock at first. Fastball's in there for a strike. Jake Lamb, career against Maeda. Not bad.
Big hanging breaking ball on that one, and that time a fastball right down the middle, and Jake just absolutely clobbered it.
Close to a 500 career hitter against the Dodger right-hander.
A lot of soft stuff in the early going from Maeda. He's on a lot of change-ups, taking a little bit off his two-seamer.
Well, the book on him last year, his first year in the big leagues, coming over from Japan, was he was a little scared off by some of the bat speed and the strength of the major league hitters and tended to shy away from his fastball. Oftentimes they had to talk him into throwing more fastballs. He went, says Rob Drake at third. There was the cutter there, 1-2. It's like we said, it looks more like a slider than a traditional cutter.
Jake really gearing it up there on that 1-1 pitch, looking to do some damage. Just could not check as that pitch dipped down below his bat.
Gets it out to Puig in right field, hit right at him, and everybody's going to have to hold up. Hit hard, but right at the Dodger right fielder. Our State Farm winning combo, Goldie back in town. What a road trip he had. Some tremendous numbers as we went through St. Louis, Chicago, and San Francisco. 4 homers and 14 RBIs in 10 games.
We talked about it when Goldie was struggling before the road trip, that at some point one at bat is going to turn it over for Paul Goldschmidt, and man, did he rake on that trip. Righties, lefties, hard stuff, soft stuff made no difference. Goldie was squaring up everything.
Oh, a big meeting on the Dodger mound. Don't get a big head about things. No runs in yet, but an excellent chance to put some runs on the board first here. Goldie, 323 and 25 home runs. He's hit safely in 4 straight games. He's had RBIs in each of his last 4 games. Peralta at second, Pollock at first, and 1 out. We've seen, as you mentioned, Bob, a lot of soft stuff early. There's no way you can convince me he wants to throw Goldie a fastball at any point in this at bat.
At least not in the strike zone. He may try to show him one inside off the plate where he can't get to it, or away where he can't get to it.
Kind of like that. Spits on that when it's 1-0. Goldie has not had a whole lot of luck against Kenta Maeda in his career. He's just 4 for 21 versus Maeda. Tried the changeup, and it's 2-0. Oh, gave him the fastball, swing and a miss. Tip of the cap, wag of the finger there, a 2-0 fastball.
Do it again. A little surprised Goldie swung at that pitch. Usually when he's ahead in the count, he's willing to look at a few extra pitches, even if it means taking a hittable strike. But that time he was ready to let it go.
Another fastball well off the plate, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike with J.D. Martinez on deck. Kenta Maeda, as we mentioned, has won his last 4 starts. He just threw 7 scoreless innings in Atlanta last Tuesday and gave up only 2 hits. And he's working tonight on a full week's rest. 3-1 to Goldie. He gets the strike call there. Alan Porter says it's full 3-2.
Might have been a strike, but not a pitch you want to swing at 3-1. As a matter of fact, it's not a strike, just off that outside corner at the knees.
Second 3-2 count in this inning for the Diamondbacks. This is skied foul ground, first base side for Bellinger. Well, it's going to be up to J.D. Martinez. Need some 2-out magic here. Martinez between the Tigers and the Diamondbacks, 289 and 22 home runs. 6 of those homers have come with the D-backs. And Rick Honeycutt wants a word. This is a pretty early visit. Dodger pitching coach is out there. Interpreter right behind him.
J.D. Martinez first look at the Dodger right-hander. I'm sure he did a lot of video work this afternoon. Probably spent a lot of time with Dave Maggott and Tim Laker going over the advance report on Kenta Maeda. Big at bat early in the ballgame.
Maeda, in winning his last 4 straight starts, during that span has given up a total of only 3 earned runs. He's really been good lately. And he's trying to wiggle off the hook here. 2 on, 2 outs in the first. This is the spot where lately the Diamondbacks, much more not often, have just failed to get that big hit. Fastball away, it's 1-0. Trying a curveball. 2 balls and no strikes. Seen fastballs, sliders, cutters, changeups, curveball. Everything but the rosin bag so far he's thrown up there.
Next pitch will be number 22 here in the first inning.
So far for Maeda, more balls than strikes. That fastball is in there. Peralta still the runner at second. A.J. Pollock at first. Another breaking ball. 3-1.
The 3-1 pitch to Goldie really turned this inning in a negative direction for the Diamondbacks. Should be bases loaded, 1 out with J.D. Martinez at the plate.
Yeah. Big cut it to 3-1. He got a changeup and missed it. Now the count is full 3-2. Third 3-2 count in this half inning. The Rockies just had a blown save from Greg Holland in Cleveland. Tried down 1-0 most of that game, came back and won it 4-1. Austin Jackson had a single to tie it. Yan Gomes hit a walk-off homer. So the Rockies just a moment ago lose at Cleveland. So that helps. 3-2 to Martinez. There go the runners, and JD strikes out. Diamondbacks first and second, nobody out, cannot get a run across. We'll head to the second here at Chase Field.
To the second, I'm Kate Longworth. Well, they say to be the best, you have to beat the best. And so the Diamondbacks are given the toughest test of the season so far as they go up against the Dodgers, Cubs, and Astros during this homestand. But as A.J. Pollock explained to me, they cannot give in to the hype. He said if the team goes out there trying to prove something, that's when mistakes happen. Instead, they need to go out there and play D-backs baseball, taking it one game at a time, no matter who the opponent is.
Good to have Kate back with us.
Yeah, welcome back, Kate.
Baby Nash doing all right. We hear good things.
He's doing great, guys. I think that this is a little bit more relaxing. I'm enjoying baseball, not on call for a baby, you know.
Cody Bellinger, 0-1, starts off the second. We're back at full strength now here.
Yeah. You know, as boring as that sounds, that is the honest to God's truth. We try to make a little more out of a homestand or a series, you know, because we got nothing else to do. But if you're Torey Lovullo and the team, you have to focus on each at bat, each pitch, each game, take it on its own merit, finish the ball game, come back tomorrow and do it again. You can't look at a 10-game stretch of the season. You just have to play them one at a time. Well, obviously the players are well aware of what's at stake, but that doesn't change the way they approach each and every game.
Godley slipped there on the rubber. That changeup got away, and it's 2-2 to Bellinger. The shift is on against Bellinger, who just over 90 games into his big league career already has 32 home runs and 75 runs batted in. There's a little tapper to Descalso, the second baseman. They retire Bellinger to open up the second inning.
Catcher, number 9, Yasmani.
Always dangerous from the left-hand side, the switch-hitting catcher Yasmani Grandal. 268 and 14 home runs. 12 of those 14 homers have come as a left-hand batter. First pitch curveball from Zach, and it's 0-1. Rondal very aggressive this year. He's not walking nearly as often as he did last year. And while his strikeout rate is about the same as it was last year, his walk rate has dropped by more than half. So he's up there swinging. There's Iannetta back there. It's 0-2 on the Dodger catcher. Fastball away. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Called strike 3. Got him on the curveball. Second strikeout for Godley. 2 down.
Hey fans, show your school pride. Current students and alumni. The D-backs will host ASU night and U of A night during the next Dodger series here at Chase Field. Get a custom ASU or U of A soft style t-shirt with a special event ticket pack. ASU night is August 29th and U of A night is August 30th. Visit dbacks.com/events now for your special event ticket pack.
As usual, Zach Godley attacking the strike zone. 20 pitches, 14 strikes. Here's Logan Forsythe. That's a fastball in there. It's 0-1. Forsythe, 238, 3 home runs. Beat LA all over the ballpark as we open up a big homestand. 1-3 versus the Dodgers. Forsythe can't check, and it's 0-2. Forsythe has been essentially a singles hitter this year. He's only got 13 extra base hits all season. And this is a guy who hit 20 home runs last year with Tampa Bay. Had some injury issues, but the offensive numbers haven't been nearly what they had hoped for. Two-strike curveball missed. It's 2-2. Jock Peterson would be next. Alan Porter didn't like the fastball, and it's full 3-2. Forsythe is a guy who works, counts, sees pitches, takes walks. Wow, I don't know how he laid off that curveball. Works a 2-out walk. Alan Porter says ball 4.
Center field, number 31.
It might have been up in the zone, but it appeared to be in the zone, all over the zone.
Thanks. So Jock Peterson gets a chance. 229, 11 home runs. He is hitless in his last 17 at bats. Peterson slumping right now. Peterson is a guy who can handle an inside fastball. Fastball away usually gets you a ground ball, so we'll see how they decide to attack the Dodgers center fielder here with Forsythe at first and 2 outs. Marte, the shortstop, right behind the second base bag. Cutter in, missed, and it's 2-0.
Jock Peterson has one thing on his mind when he steps into that batter's box: hit the ball as high and as far as he can to right field.
Little tapper to first for Goldie, and Godley strands the 2-out walk. No score. The D-backs and the Dodgers. D-backs fans, don't forget, stop by your local Fry's and stock up on your favorite Pepsi products using your VIP card. You'll earn valuable D-backs rewards points that you can redeem for merchandise and game experiences. Pepsi is the official soft drink of your Arizona Diamondbacks. No score, Dodgers and D-backs. Good crowd here with us tonight as we open up this big homestand. Daniel Descalso, the second baseman tonight, leads it off against Dodger right-hander Kenta Maeda. Descalso had an RBI single in his start Sunday at San Francisco, 233 on the year. He gets into one and hits it right at Puig. That's the second time that's happened to the Diamondbacks. Jake Lamb lined one out there back in the first. Chris Iannetta, the catcher tonight. 224, 8 homers for Chris. If you're just joining us, there was really good news in Cleveland where the Rockies had a 1-0 lead. For Maeda, that brings up the shortstop Ketel Marte. 257 and 4 home runs. Boy, remember that home run he hit at Dodger Stadium from the right-hand side of the plate that literally came 4 rows away from being hit out of the ballpark. Coming off a 2-hit game in San Francisco on Sunday. Here's a strike. This was Ketel Marte at Dodger Stadium. Watch where this one lands. Off the lefty, Felix Avilan, or Luis Avilan, pardon me.
Just missed the overhang out there on the bleachers.
That was a titanic blow. Boy, Alan Porter has had an interesting strike zone so far. It's 0-2. Rondal wanted the fastball up. Marte had a hack.
Well, they call this Teal Tuesday, and Ketel Marte took it to a whole new level. Look at those shoes.
Nice kicks.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's quite a potpourri of bright colors he's got on. The elbow guard, the shin guard, the gloves, the shoes, the whole thing. Able to lay off that changeup. Marte, equal power from both sides of the plate. Again, they wanted the fastball up, and Ketel Marte tomahawks it into right center. A 2-out single.
We talk about Marte having pop from both sides of the plate. We showed you the one in Dodger Stadium that very nearly left the ballpark, and he hit one in Cincinnati that went way over the bullpens in right field. Very nearly hit it out of Great American Ballpark.
He almost hit it to Kentucky. Over the Ohio River. So the Diamondbacks, if nothing else, clear the pitcher spot here, but Zach Godley will see what he can do. 2 for 29. That snapped a stretch of 5 straight retired by Kenta Maeda. Everybody today listen to the radio. Burns and Gambo are talking up Diamondback. A lot of Diamondback talk right at the top of the show. A lot of passionate baseball fans caught up in this pennant race. It's been exciting to listen to be a part of. Everybody in town talking Diamondbacks and anxious to get this homestand started. 3 against the Dodgers, Cubs in here this weekend, and 2 against the first place Houston Astros. It's going to be a fun ride here over the final 50 games or so. So this is game 112, by the way. So after this, there's 50 to go. 50 cent.
50 games.
Zach Greinke starts tomorrow against lefty Alex Wood. 0-2 on Zach Godley. But it was just great to hear all the Diamondback talk.
It sure beats the alternative. Unfortunately, the last couple of years, the Diamondbacks at this point in the season are starting to look at some guys for next year and trying Trying to stay out of the National League West cellar, but this is a whole different animal this year. A lot of fun.
No, he didn't. Alfonso Marquez. 2-2. That hurt just to watch.
Yeah, everything got out in front of home plate except for the barrel of the bat.
What are you saying?
He was able to stop the bat, but not his body.
That's his physics, is what that is. Godley putting up a fight here. It stays 2-2. Really making Maeda work. They haven't had any results, but he's at 40 pitches right now, and he's only gotten 5 outs. Not that getting into the Dodger bullpen is ever a picnic. And he gets the strikeout, his second of the ball game. We'll head to the 3rd inning. No score at Chase Field. Cleveland, Ohio, Rockies and Indians tied at 1, bottom 9, and there it goes. Yan Gomes. That is a long home run in that ballpark. And the Rockies, who had a 1-0 lead in the 9th inning, blow the save. Holland's second blown save in about a week. So that's good news for the Diamondbacks, who are now even with Colorado for that first National League wild card spot. And the Brewers, who were 5.5 games behind the D-backs in the wild card race, are getting beaten up by the Twins at Target Field 8-4. So all the news so far is very good for D-backs fans.
Good news.
Here's Yasiel Puig. Leads off the 3rd against Zach Godley. Puig already a career high 21 home runs, batting .258 on the year. Had homers last Friday and Saturday in the Dodgers series against the Mets at Citi Field. And Puig, you know, even for him, it's odd to say, but somewhat quietly, he's, had a pretty good year. He's staying out of trouble. He's batting 8th and not complaining about it. That seems to have quieted him down a bit. Dave Roberts sort of challenging him by putting him in that 8th spot.
He's had his moments from time to time. He's overthrown a cutoff man like he always does, and been a little overly aggressive on the bases from time to time. But yeah, I think this is more what the Dodgers expected from Yasiel Puig.
And he's been a much more patient hitter this year. He's walking a whole bunch more than he ever has before. It's one to deep right center field. A.J. Pollock. Godley keeps it in the yard, 1 down. Watch the bat flip on the fly ball to center.
Pitcher number 18, Kenta.
Imagine what he'll do if he actually does get a hold of one. bat flip for an F8.
Look good, I guess. Here's Maeda. Zach Godley facing the Dodgers for the second time this year. He pitched at Dodger Stadium July 5th and really pitched well. Gave up only 1 run, 3 hits in 5 2/3, but wound up with a loss. Dodgers won it 1-0. Boy, that spun Maeda all around and backwards. Fastball coming in on the right-hand batter. It's 1-2.
He can only smile about that when that two-seamer runs over in the middle of the right-handed batter's box. Fortunately, he's able to get out of the way as he's swinging at it.
Two down in the third.
Hey fans, the day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
Second time through the order, the leadoff man Chris Taylor, who singled to start the ball game. Chris Taylor having a big summer. He's hitting just under .380 since July the 1st. And in his last 29 games, he's got 21 extra base hits and 21 runs batted in. He's become a big part of this offense. A guy that was really a kind of a middle infielder, but he's become a power hitting outfielder. He was acquired from Seattle last June for pitcher Zach Lee. He had played in his career nothing but shortstop, second base, little third. But with the Dodgers this year, he started almost 60 games in the outfield. He can play center. The outfield defense is something he's had to work on a bit, but he's turned into sort of a power hitting corner outfielder.
You know, and for some guys, the light bulb goes on a little later. Maybe it's a new terminology from the hitting coach. Maybe it's the teammates that are around him. But for whatever reason, he is having a bang-up year this year.
Sure is. Here's Turner Ward, Dodger hitting coach, former Diamondback hitting coach. Thought about it, laid off the curveball, and it's in there for a strike, so it's 2-2. Corey Seager would be next. Third base for Jake Lamb. We'll head to the bottom of the third. Coming up for the Diamondbacks, it's the top of the order. David Peralta and A.J. Pollock. And batting third, Jake Lamb. Back from Chase Field after this. No score, bottom third. Hey fans, this is new and this is really cool. You can now participate in the D-backs 50-50 charity raffle from home along with all the fans here at Chase Field. Now what you do is purchase tickets online for every D-backs home game on Fox Sports Arizona for your chance to win half the pot, and by doing so you help kids in our community. So get your tickets dbacks.com/5050 raffle, and then stay tuned for the D-backs live post-game show when they'll announce the winner. You can find out if you won. I saw Debbie Castaldo talking about this with Todd on the pregame show. This is a great idea.
Absolutely. Got so many Diamondbacks fans at home dialed in watching their team. Now they can participate in the 50-50 right along with the fans here at the ballpark.
So get your tickets online for every D-backs home game. Fox Sports Arizona's website, the chance to do that, and you can maybe win half the 50-50 pot and help kids in our community. dbacks.com/5050 raffle is where you get the tickets. 0-2 on David Peralta, who leads off the bottom of the third against Kenta Maeda. Saw a long conversation in between innings out there on the field. Friendly, but was active, I guess is a good word, between Torey Lovello and the plate umpire Alan Porter. Gonna guess it was about the strike zone. Just a hunch.
You have to be very careful when you talk about that strike zone.
Bounced to second for Forsythe. But boy, that went on a long time, Bob. It wasn't just a little casual hey. It was a sort of nose-to-nose situation.
You know, there were a couple of high curveballs in that second inning when Zach Godley did not get the call, but in the third inning he did get the call on a couple of high curveballs. So maybe Torey was just asking Alan Porter to nail it down. Either it is or it isn't.
He's telling Taiwan. And then I said to him, and then he said, here's AJ. He walked his first time up tonight. Fastball down and away for strike one. AJ hit just about 220 in the last road trip, 1 RBI. But he was one of the most effective hitters during the series at St. Louis. He was on base almost all the time against the Cardinals.
Yeah, the supporting cast just hasn't been there lately. I mean, we talked about Goldie on that last road trip, as hot as you could possibly be. Unfortunately, just about everybody else in the lineup kind of went cold.
It's been a cold 3-4 weeks now.
I mean, since June 28th, Goldie's hit .313. David Peralta .254, respectable, but not what we expect from David. Jake Lamb .206. Brandon Drury in limited playing time .225. AJ Pollock .273, respectable, but once again not what you expect from these guys.
That's the bad news. The good news is the ceiling is normally a lot higher, and there's no reason to think they won't get there in the final 50 games of the year after tonight. Boy, Maeda's getting a little cocky with that fastball. He's throwing it and almost challenged some hitters, a lot more than we've seen him do in the past.
I think it's effective because he sets it up with so many off-speed pitches, change-ups and curveballs and cutters, and then comes back with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. It looks like 100.
Yeah, really mixing it up out there. Trying a slider and missed. It's full 3-2. Maeda already at 50 pitches here, 30 strikes. He has walked 1, struck out 2, given up just 2 hits. Jake Lamb next. Struck him out.
That downer slider once again starts it on the outer third of the plate. Just enough off speed and enough movement that AJ can't get a piece of.
Jake Lamb lined out hard to Puig and right his first time up. Dodgers will put the shift on against him. Turner, the third baseman, moves over next to second base umpire Hunter Wendelstedt. They leave Seager in the shortstop spot, but he's in on the grass a couple of steps against Lamb. Backs off a bit now with an 0-1 count up there. That's a lot of hair right there.
What'd you call him before?
A human troll.
I'm glad you said that. Changeup missed 1-1. He's having a heck of a year, I'll tell you that.
He really is.
Leading the league in hitting. It's not hard to tell where he is when they do have the shift on, so that's actually kind of helpful. Just look for that big patch of orange out there. 2-1. I had to looking into the dugout like I can't believe that wasn't a strike. So that theme has continued here into the bottom of the third for both teams. Changeup is in there and it's 2-2.
Set the target down and away and hit the glove with a fastball. And another discussion with Alan Porter. 4 strikeouts for Maeda, no score after 3.
Early in this ball game, as we head to the top half of the 4th inning, time to take a look at this day in Major League Baseball history. A sad day for all the Dodger fans in Brooklyn. Sad day for the rest of us in the National League West. Walter O'Malley, the club president of the Dodgers, announces that they'll be moving to Los Angeles next season.
And the Giants went the same year. Yeah. 57. Corey Seager leads off the 4th against Zach Godley. First pitch curveball from Zach. Seager hit into a double play his first time up. Of course, the Dodgers, when they first got out there, played at the Coliseum for a while they were building the facility at Chavez Ravine.
And the Giants played at Seal Stadium until that wonderful facility, Candlestick Park, was built.
Yeah, that was your first big league park.
Yeah, it was.
Nostalgia. All right. Shift is on for Seager. I tried. Oh, another curveball. Seager up there swinging 1-2. Wow, how about that? A whole bunch of curveballs from Zach. Seager laid off that one. It's 2-2. Godley, with his mix of sinkers and curveballs and cutters into lefties, has become one of the best in the business at generating ground balls against left-hand hitters. And sure enough, Seager hit into a double play his first time up. Change up away is lifted into left for Peralta. 5 in a row set down by Godley. Here's Justin Turner.
We showed you the highlights of the Rockies blowing the lead late. kind of lost in the shuffle of that game. Corey Kluber starting for the Indians, 6 innings, gave up 3 hits, struck out 11, didn't walk a batter. His 13th straight game with 8 or more strikeouts for Corey Kluber.
He's been awesome lately. Charlie Blackmon hit a leadoff home run in that game against Kluber, and that was the only run of the game for 8.5 innings, I believe.
Another outstanding pitching performance tonight. Chris Sale struck out 13 Tampa Bay Rays tonight, the 15th time this year he struck out 10 or more. Only Pedro Martinez and Randy Johnson have had more in one season.
Boston 2-0 winners at Tampa Bay. Turner hits one high and deep left center field, and there it goes. Justin Turner, his 14th, and it's 1-0 Dodgers. He homered Saturday and Sunday in their wins over the Mets at Citi Field, and he opens up this series with a solo homer in the 4th.
That appeared to be a fastball up in the zone. Yep. You can see Zach Godley's reaction. He doesn't even want to turn around and watch the flight of that one. He knows where it's headed.
Well, you see that swing from Turner. He's a guy who's made a real effort this year, a conscious effort to get more balls up in the air. So he's trying to lift everything he sees, and he was lift and clear that time. Bellinger, that's going to get into the seats and out of play.
This is another guy that tries to lift and separate. Sometimes he'll drop down to a back knee. Cody Bellinger trying to get that proper swing plane that he wants up and through the ball to get it in the air.
Well, he has been starting with the barrel of the bat kind of flat, and then gets it going up toward the pitcher. See how it's flat there, and then up right there. It's a little bit almost like Goldie. Goldie's all the way behind his back, but it seems to be the same kind of mechanism. Shift is on against Bellinger, who grounded out his first time up. Bob Guerin, the Dodger bench coach, there with Justin Turner. Bellinger has played 6 games in August, and he's homered in 4 of them, including each of his last 2. Be careful here. Godley behind 3-1.
Boy, and Bellinger really makes almost an exaggerated effort to get both eyes on the pitcher. I mean, he really has his head turned out toward the infield.
Drives that one deep left center field, and it's off the wall. 17th double for Cody Bellinger.
Pitch drifting off the outside corner of the plate. Shows you what kind of coverage Cody Bellinger has. Reaches out and drives that ball with authority off the wall in left center field for a double.
So a run is in on the Turner homer. Bellinger at second with 1 out for Yasmani Grandal, who struck out looking his first time up. It's foul in front of George Lombard coaching at first. There is Chris Ann of Green Gable. Chris Gable wearing a GoPro there from Fox Sports Arizona. They're doing a little piece on what it's like to be a Golden Glover, so that'll be on the Fox Sports Arizona website. Great job by them. That'll be a nice piece. You can get a first-hand look. Chris manning our right field Golden Glover duty tonight. Grandal drives one the other way. Backs up Peralta. David makes a nice running catch. Bellinger back to second, and that's the second out.
David with just enough room out there in left field. He can feel that warning track under his feet. He knows he's getting close to the wall, but has just enough room to reach up, make the play, and hustle that ball back into the infield.
David has made a nice adjustment moving from right field to left field with the addition of J.D. Martinez. Logan Forsythe. Bellinger at second and 2 outs. Mentioned that Forsythe is a very patient hitter. He's more than doubled his walk rate from last year. In fact, he's already this year walked more than he did all of last season. So you got to throw him strikes. In fact, he's got an on-base percentage that's about 50 points higher than his slugging percentage. So he is getting on base, but there's almost no power here. He bangs that into center. They'll wave Bellinger, and it's 2-0 Dodgers.
Zach Godley's calling card is that he's an extreme ground ball pitcher, but he's made some mistakes up in the zone this inning. The home run to Turner and that curveball to Logan Forsythe just kind of rolled up there belt high. And for a guy that has a very controlled swing, he's just going to bang it right back where it came from.
Zach's only real bad start all year came in Atlanta against the Braves at brand new SunTrust Park, and in that start he was leaving everything up in the zone early. He got hit pretty hard. Jock Peterson. Shift is on for the Diamondbacks. Peterson grounded out to first back in the second inning.
A little different twist for Peterson. Normally he only wears that extended jaw protector when he faces a left-handed pitcher, but against Zach Godley he's got it on there tonight.
He literally said sometimes he wears it because he thinks it looks cool. Yes, he went Rob Drake. So sometimes he puts that face guard on and he thinks he looks like Brian Urlacher, the old Bears linebacker. Whatever works.
The Dodgers are not really much of a running team. Chris Taylor has 13 stolen bases. Yasiel Puig with 12. Nobody else on the team in double digits. Nobody really even close.
Yeah, Forsythe is a guy that used to run a fair bit, but he's got 2 bad knees down there.
Of course, when you've got the kind of thunder in the middle of the lineup that the Dodgers do, you don't want to run into any outs on the bases.
Chases a curveball and strikes out, but the Dodgers get 2. Diamondbacks trail it 2-0.
Now by a very special guest, rising star in the NHL, Austin Matthews. And when you're not out on the ice, you call the desert your home. And I understand, as good of a hockey player as you are, you also played baseball growing up, and you were pretty good. And growing up in Scottsdale, you were a D-backs fan. So what's it like for you tonight to be taking in a game?
Yeah, it's fun. I haven't been here in a while, so you know, it's always fun to take in a game, especially when they're playing a pretty big rival. So you know, hopefully it'll be an exciting game.
You're a little bit incognito here, but I'm guessing north of the border you can't get away with much. After all, you were the #1 draft pick in 2016, scored 4 goals in your debut. Oh yeah, something about a rookie of the year. So what's it like for you living up playing with Toronto, and what are your goals for the upcoming season?
Yeah, it's a little bit different here than up there, but no, I think for myself, for the team, I think everybody just wants to take a step forward and you know, kind of build off what we had this year. And you know, we're a young team, got a lot of exciting talent there, so it's definitely pretty cool to be a part of. And you know, playing a big city like Toronto that's you know, loves hockey that much.
All right, well, thank you so much. Congratulations on a great year, and we look forward to watching more. Guys, he's representing Arizona in a great way.
Had a tremendous season, Kate, in Toronto. Talk about a rock star.
Yeah. One of these days he might actually have to shave. Wow. Talk about a baby face.
One of the most exciting young players in the NHL. And a Valley native. Goldie leads off the bottom of the 4th against Kenta Maeda, who has retired the last 4 he's faced and now leads it 2-0. He didn't go. Alfonso Marquez says no, and it's 2-2. Maeda has retired, in fact, 9 of the last 10 Diamondbacks he's faced. After a rocky start, Peralta led it off with a double. Pollock walked, first and second, no outs, but ever since then, just Ketel Marte's 2-out single in the 2nd. That's been it for the D-backs. Goldie reaches out and lifts it out toward Puig. Gets headed for the corner. A little cavalier, but he knew where he was. 1 away.
Certainly has enough speed to close ground on a slicing line drive like that. Makes the play in fair territory right in front of the Dodger bullpen out there. His tongue out as he makes the play. Yeah.
Goldie 0 for 2. Here's J.D. Martinez, who struck out to end the 1st inning. J.D. very aggressive, very early in counts. Looks at a breaking ball there for strike 1. Kenta Maeda was struggling a little bit earlier this summer. He was actually out of the Dodgers rotation for most of June. Made some appearances out of their bullpen. And now with the signing of Yu Darvish, who starts here in Thursday's game, Maeda might not have a postseason rotation spot, and he says he's feeling the pressure. But lately he's really stepped up. He's won his last 4 starts. Martinez hits that foul. And since he's come back to the rotation right near the end of June, Maeda in his last 6 appearances, all starts, has gone 5-1, a 2.20 ERA.
Well, that's a way to make your case to stay in that rotation for the postseason instead of having your agent call the general manager and complain. Just go out there and pitch better.
Yeah, he wants to hang on to his rotation spot. Dodgers have been pretty non-committal to this point. But the addition of Darvish certainly changed the equation, and you can only have so many postseason starters. Alex Wood has been an all-star. He's been tremendous. He's 13-1. He starts tomorrow night. And then Darvish goes on Thursday against Anthony Bonda. Aiden Kershaw on the DL right now with back trouble. But they expect him back certainly well before October. Diamondbacks did handle Kenta Maeda pretty well in 2 starts earlier this year. That was back in April. He had a no decision versus the D-backs April 15th in LA. Lasted only 4 innings. And then was hit hard here at Chase Field at his next start. D-backs got him for 6 runs on 9 hits and 5. Maeda's had to work hard, throw a bunch of pitches, but he's been effective. So far, just 2 hits allowed. He's walked 1, 4 strikeouts. Two and two. Broken bat pop up behind second. Corey Seager's got it, 2 down.
Second base, Daniel Descalso.
Daniel Descalso lined out to right field his first time up. He started second base tonight. And Daniel's been fighting it a little bit. He's 2 for his last 23 up there. And when you're in a 2 for 23, oftentimes it's 0-2 before you can blink.
Before you can blink, you feel like you're 0-2 when you get into the batter's box. But yeah, Daniel hit some balls hard in San Francisco, unfortunately, to the wrong part of the ballpark.
Yeah, did have an RBI single in Sunday's game. Chased a high fastball. Maeda has 5 strikeouts and a 2-0 lead. Trail the Dodgers 2-0. Hey, you can use your phone for lots of stuff like MLB.tv. It's every night, every device. You can watch every out-of-market regular season game live. And you can get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Yasiel Puig leads off the 5th against Zach Godley. Justin Turner a solo homer. Logan Forsythe an RBI single. Dodgers got 2 runs in the 4th. They lead it 2-0. Puig flying out to center his first time. Hit the ball pretty deep to right center field. And a pair of home runs over the weekend for the Dodgers against the Mets at Citi Field. We go there for 4 games on our next road trip. That's an interesting expression. Seen a lot of those looks tonight. Some of the strike calls. Zach Godley left a couple of pitches up in that 4th, and it really burned him. Turner a long home run. Cody Bellinger just missed a homer. He had a long double. Scored on Forsythe's RBI single. Here's Justin Turner. The home run is 14th of the year. Puig lays off that fastball. Godley's has stumbled more than a couple of times here tonight coming off the mound.
Yeah, he spins off aggressively to the first base side on almost every pitch, but a couple times today it looks like he catches a cleat or something, kind of stumbles over in that direction.
Backs up Jake Lamb at third. Long throw. And Puig is aboard. Puig really runs well. That was a long throw for Jake and a tough play.
Once you back up 3 or 4 steps the way Jake did right there, everything's going to have to be perfect from that point on to get Puig at first base. Gets in underneath the tag on the high throw. And Puig really hit that bag hard down there.
Infield single leads off the LA. George Lombard, the first base coach.
Reaching out for the bag, trying to duck underneath the tag. At one point he was grabbing the back of his left hamstring, another time the outside of his right foot. Not sure exactly what the problem is with Puig, but he's going to stay in.
He has had sort of occasional hamstring problems over the course of his career. Hamstring injuries flare up from time to time with Puig. Maeda squares to bunt. Lamb in on the grass at third. Here comes Goldie from first.
It's kind of interesting, partner. Kenta Maeda struck out back in that 3rd inning against Zach Godley. The first strikeout of the season for Kenta Maeda in 33 plate appearances.
How about that?
Struck out 16 times in 66 plate appearances last year. He was cut way down in his swing just to make contact.
See where Jake is, halfway into third. Goldie holding Puig in the bag at first. Jake's got it. They get a 1 and they roll the double play.
Kind of an awkward double play. Jake Lamb playing very shallow, expecting the bunt. Maeda swings away right to Jake Lamb. This is a 5-6-3 double play with the shift on. Tel Marte was moving over to cover the bag at second in the event of a sacrifice bunt, so kind of an unusual double play there, but we'll take it.
Base is empty. 2 down for Chris Taylor, who singled to lead off the ball game. Showed you the end of that Rockies game in Cleveland earlier. Yan Gomes had a walk-off homer for the Tribe. Colorado lost at Progressive Field. Indians beat them 4-1. Brewers, the team right behind the Diamondbacks, 5.5 back in the NL wild card race, just getting clobbered at Target Field in Minnesota. It's 10-4. Ketel Marte. Zach Godley has the ground ball working, but he trails it 2-0. everybody here, one thing in mind, beat LA. But so far, the Diamondbacks are trailing 2-0. But fans, now is the time to become a 2018 Diamondbacks season ticket holder. They're on sale right now. And you can customize your own season ticket plan. You can go for a particular series. You can get a weekend plan. You can get a half-season plan. Or go all in with full season tickets and get all the benefits. Buy or renew online right now. DBacks.com/advantage. JD Martinez doing his homework.
A lot of new pitchers. We talked about it when JD came on board with the Diamondbacks. A lot of pitchers in the National League that he had not seen before. Certainly getting help from his teammates and from video scouting and the advance report. But never hurts to make a little note to yourself. You're going to see Kenta Maeda an awful lot. Man,
boy,
Porter likes the high curveball and the low fastball.
He has been consistent in that regard. Iannetta grounded out his first time up. Here's a high fastball coming. Chris swinging a miss, and it's 0-2. Maeda has retired 7 straight and 12 of the last 13 Diamondbacks he's faced. D-backs so far with only 2 hits. Peralta a double to start the ball game. Ketel Marte a 2-out single in the second. He's been the last Diamondbacks base runner. Cubbies are coming in here for a weekend set starting Friday. They're in San Francisco right now. You were telling me Buster Posey got one, huh?
Yeah, it took Jose Quintana deep. A 3-run homer. Giants up 3-0 in the top of the 4th at AT&T Park.
Big homestand starts tonight. 3 against the Dodgers, 3 against the Cubs starting on Friday. And then the first 2 games of a 4-game home and home with the first place Houston Astros. So fans, come on down. DBacks.com/tickets. Big series against 3 postseason teams. LA, Chicago, and Houston. And it's a tough way to start it off against a Dodger club that's on a historic pace. LA, I didn't even think this was possible. They've won 44 of their last 51 games. 44 of 51 since June the 7th. Iannetta gets into one. Deep center field. That ball is gone. Chris Iannetta, that's number 9, and the Diamondbacks are on the board. He hit it onto the home run porch.
Home run surrendered on the season by Kenta Maeda. 6 of those have come against the Diamondbacks. Chris Iannetta absolutely mashed that ball just to the right of straightaway center field, up onto the home run porch, putting the D-backs on the board.
Chris Iannetta at it again. Now 20 of Chris's last 25 hits have been for extra bases. That one's a jumbo jack. So you can collect a free jumbo jack tomorrow at Jack in the Box with the purchase of a large drink. Ketel Marte, the shortstop. And he shoots one the other way. Diamondbacks bats finally coming to life here against Maeda in the 5th. Marte 2 for 2.
Jumps on the first pitch he sees. A little slashing line drive into left field. Sets it up nicely here for Zach Godley to more than likely try to put down a sac bunt. Move Marte into scoring position for the top of the order.
80 pitches for Maeda, who's had to work hard tonight. 53 strikes. Godley struck out his first time up. Turner in on the grass at 3rd. Bellinger holding Marte on the bag at first, and nobody's over there. Marte will take the turn and head for 3rd. Cody Bellinger was holding Marte on the bag, but he sort of gave up and started to come in to cover the bunt, and Maeda threw it over there anyway.
Mix up in signs in an obvious sac bunt situation like this. the first baseman has to know whether the pitcher's going to pick to first or is he going to throw the ball home. Cody Bellinger was expecting a pitch to home plate, trying to come in and get into a good defensive position to field the bunt, and Raiders just threw it over into foul territory. Marte ends up at third base.
Yeah, that's a critical error. They give Marte 2 free bases. He's the tying run down there with nobody out. Well, that really changes Zach Godley's circumstance here. Dodgers will bring the infield in a bit. You just got a gift, got to take advantage. Fastball down and away. Strike one. Ryan has been going down there all night, and he's been getting the call. Slider, and it's 0-2. Pedro Baez, the right-hander, starts to get loose. Maeda, more often than not, only goes 5 innings. He almost never goes deep into a ball game. Did pitch 7 in his last start, but he's usually 5 and fly. There's the fastball for strike 3, his 6th strikeout. Leadoff man David Peralta. Peralta doubled deep to center to lead off the ball game for the Diamondbacks. He's 1 for 2.
The Dodgers will keep their infield in for David Peralta here, which improves his chances of driving one through there.
Gotta find a way to get that run home. First pitch fastball. David jumped on it, but it's 0-1. Hit it onto the home run porch. That's where Chris Iannetta just hit his. Some poor Diamondback fan is surrounded by a bunch of Dodgers. Hang in there, brother. Laid off a slider, and it's a ball and a strike. Iannetta got it started, a leadoff home run here in the 5th, his 9th of the year. And Marte, the tying run at third with 1 out. This is the best Diamondback scoring opportunity since the 1st inning when Peralta doubled and Pollock walked to lead off the ball game. Diamondbacks had 1st and 2nd, no outs in that 1st inning, and couldn't get a run across. They've got 4 hits so far. They've left 3. In the dirt, 3 balls and a strike. Well, that is quite an ensemble that Ketel has on down there. He's got the teal shoes, usually has the brightly colored elbow and shin guards, but he's got the sleeve, he's got the oven mitt, he's got the running glove. I mean, that's a look, man.
It'd be even better look if he can get on the plate right here.
Wouldn't it, though?
It must be a real brain cramp to catch Kenta Maeda. He rarely throws the same pitch twice in a row. I haven't seen him go back to back with a fastball or back to back with sliders. It seems like he wants to throw a different pitch in sequence every at bat.
Shakes off a lot. Peralta taps it right back to the mound. Nice play there by Kenta Maeda to keep that one from getting behind him and maybe rolling into center. It certainly would have scored Marte had it got behind him. So now 2 down for AJ. Pollock has walked and struck out. He's 0 for 1.
Maeda 5 times over in Japan was recognized as the best fielding pitcher, the equivalent of the Gold Glove. So much like Zach Greinke, once he lets that ball go, he becomes an infielder.
He also won 2 Sawamura Awards in the Japanese League. That's their Cy Young Award. Pitched 8 seasons in the Central League for the Hiroshima Carp. I'll drink to that. How about a 2-out knock right here? D-backs have been out hit 5-4. They trail it 2-1.
This is where they need to really improve the numbers. Diamondbacks over their last 5 games plus tonight 9 for 52 with runners in scoring position. That's a 173 average.
Got the changeup and missed on 2-0. Drives it to left center. Taylor's there. And they strand Marte at third. But they get one on Ionetta's homer. It's 2-1 Los Angeles. Story the National League wild card race. Milwaukee 5.5 games behind the Diamondbacks for the 2nd wild card spot, playing at Minnesota. And Brian Dozier hits his first career grand slam off Matty Garza. And the Twins are all over the Brew Crew 10-4 at Target Field. Now we've got something going on here. As between innings, Dave Roberts met with Alan Porter, the plate umpire, and now all 4 umpires, including on the left there, the crew chief Hunter Wendelstedt, are huddled up with Roberts. And I'm not really sure what's going on here.
I wish we could tell you. I'm not sure what that was all about.
He checked in with Alan Porter, and then all umpires were called in. Now I see Rob Drake, the third base umpire, I think motioning into Torey Lovello in the Diamondback dugout that there might be something wrong with the Dodgers replay review system. He kept making a headset motion. But hopefully we'll find out soon. They put the shift on for Corey Seager, who leads off the 6th. Seager has hit into a double play and flied out. He's 0 for 2. Zach Godley coming off a 10-pitch fifth inning. 73 pitches to start the sixth. On the ground to first for Goldie. Seager 0 for 3, one down. Justin Turner, the National League's leading hitter, got it started for the Dodgers. Our Cox high-speed highlights. His 14th homer solo shot with one out in the fourth. So Turner has been crushing it lately. A home run Saturday, a home run Sunday. Dodgers were off here yesterday, and now he's got a home run tonight. And he's bidding for another one. 3-1 LA. Turner's 15th and his second home run tonight. Boy, Zach Godley had given up only 6 homers all season in 15 starts, and Turner's got him now in back-to-back at bats.
He just tried to roll a first pitch curveball up there and steal a strike, and Turner didn't let him. Right in the middle of the zone, another home run to left center field for Justin Turner.
6th career multi-home run game for Turner, and now he'll deal with Cody Bellinger, who doubled and scored his last time up. Zach Godley making occasional location mistakes to some very good LA hitters tonight, and it's cost him.
You know, look at Justin Turner. A little bit, he reminds me of Jose Bautista. Jose Bautista was kind of a utility player with the Pirates, played multiple positions, hit a few home runs, got into the teens a couple of times, but the light bulb went on late for him. He became a big-time power hitter when he went to Toronto. 54 homers, 43 homers, 40 homers, and I think Justin Turner's kind of the same career arc. He was a utility infielder, nice guy to have on the team, played multiple positions, but late in his career he made some changes to his swing, and now he's a dangerous home run hitter.
Bellinger strikes out, 2 down in the 6th. Yeah, Justin Turner was acquired from the Mets just as infield depth. He was going to be a backup infielder, and he's turned into a very good defensive third baseman. And last year, 27 homers, 90 RBIs, got a 4-year $64 million free agent deal to stay in LA. The catcher Yasmani Grandal for 2. Zach Godley's done such a good job this year of keeping that curveball down, but he's left it up a few times here tonight. That was a good curve there from Zach, and he's ahead of Grandal 0-2. Six hits for the Dodgers, 4 for the Diamondbacks. Kenta Maeda through 5 innings now with a 3-1 lead. Grandal shoots one the other way for Peralta. He won't get there, and that's going to roll to the wall. Yasmani Grandal will stop at second.
Dangerous for those corner outfielders to make diving attempts toward the foul lines, because you know if it gets behind you, there's nobody there to back it up. David just tries to smother that ball, barely got leather on it. Fortunately, Yasmani Grandal does not run well. That was going to be a sure double anyway.
Well, back in the 4th inning, Cody Bellinger followed a Turner homer with a double. He scored on Logan Forsythe's 2-out RBI single, and now Forsythe is up there with 2 down and Grandal at second. Forsythe, as we mentioned earlier, does not expand the strike zone very often. He's ahead 2-0 here.
Dodgers 1 for 2 tonight with runners in scoring position. That was the Logan Forsythe single back in the 4th inning that drove home Cody Bellinger after he had doubled. Diamondbacks tonight 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position.
Diamondbacks have stranded 4. Dodgers have left 2. Jammed him that time in the air. Very shallow right center. Descalso backing up there. He's got it. But Justin Turner's second home run tonight, is 15th of the year, has made it 3-1 Los Angeles. Hunter Wendelstedt, the crew chief, talking to Dodger bench coach Bob Garrett and the skipper Dave Roberts as they continue trying to figure out what's going on with the Dodgers replay review headset. It doesn't seem to be working. New pitcher for LA, the right-hander Pedro Baez. He's on to start the 6th inning.
You mentioned the Dodger bullpen. Sometimes be careful what you wish for, chasing a starter out of the ball game. And they added to that bullpen at the trade deadline, picked up a couple of veteran left-handers in Tony Cingrani and Tony Watson to round out that Dodger bullpen.
We're not sure how the problems with the replay review equipment in the LA dugout will impact the Diamondbacks. We don't have any word on that, but they were working on it between innings. And while Baez warms up, let's remind you fans, if you can't watch the Diamondback games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device. This is a great service. It's Fox Sports Go, presented by your Valley Honda dealers. It's a free app. All you have to do is download it, and you'll be able to take Fox Sports Arizona and the D-backs with you wherever you go. Jake Lamb will lead off the 6th against Baez. D-backs trailing 3-1. They've been out hit 7-4. Jake 0 for 2 so far. Dodgers will put the shift on. You see Turner, the third baseman, right in front of second base umpire Hunter Wendelstedt. Seager, the shortstop, all by himself, midway between second and third.
You know, it's not unusual to see this exaggerated pull shift for Jake Lamb, but it is a little unusual to see Seager playing as shallow as he is on the left side. I can't recall one time Jake tried to bunt against the shift this year.
He was over there, I think, in Jake's 2 previous at-bats as well, in with his toes on the grass like that. But they have all kinds of defensive analytics saying that's where he's going to hit the ball if he does go that way. So that's where they have Seager positioned. Now he'll back off a bit in a 2-0 count. Jake's last home run July 21st. Against the Nationals here at Chase Field. It's 3-2.
Saying that's good to see. An elevated fastball out over the plate, and Jake doesn't try to pull it, stays right on it, drives it out of here to left field.
Well, Jake Lamb mentioned last home run July 21st. Since then, he had had only 2 extra base hits in his last 13 games, but that's a jumbo jack. D-backs back within 1, and here's Goldie. Goldie 0 for 2 so far. Free jumbo jack tomorrow. A jack in the box with the purchase of a large drink. Iannetta a solo homer to lead off the 5th, and now Lamb a solo shot starts the 6th. That's a high strike call on that fastball, and Baez is ahead 0-2. Bangs it to center. Peterson runs it down. Boy, the Diamondbacks have tonight hit more than their share, Bob, right on the button. Hard, deep line drives, but right near Dodger outfielders.
Keep hitting them hard. They'll find holes eventually. Thought that one had a chance to get down. It was hit so hard, hung up just long enough for Jock Peterson to come over and make a running catch.
See what J.D. Martinez can do with Pedro Baez. J.D. has struck out, popped up 0 for 2. Fastball away, and Baez gets the call. That looked to be off the plate, at least from up here.
Look where Grandal sets up now. If you're going to give him a strike on that first pitch, you might as well go sit in the dugout and catch pitches. Bear down, Allen.
0-1.
Out there once again.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Come on.
J.D.
Yeah, everybody else is wrong, and you're right, Allen. Both teams have been barking at him all night. Look at these 2 pitches.
Oh my
Come
goodness.
on.
That's.
Oh. Might as well just reach up there and pull the bat right out of JD's hands.
Should be 2-0. It's 0-2. Fastball elevated, lays off, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Boy, those are big misses. Borderline strikes are one thing. That's the very definition of borderline anyway. But that's another.
Right back out there again. Why not?
Yeah. Well, he's got to defend, especially with 2 strikes. Anything out there. Pedro Baez among the more deliberate workers in the National League. 1.74 ERA, though. That's 6th best among all National League relief pitchers. Slow but effective. They keep fishing down and away, but it's 2-2 now. Martinez, high fly ball, right field. Puig at the wall, and he's got it. Oh my goodness! Yasiel Puig.
Tremendously gifted athlete, times his leap perfectly.
Well, Baxter and Vanessa were back there ready to catch the home run ball, but Puig took it away. You said it. Descalso 0 for 2. That should have tied the ball game. Oh.
Another hard hit ball. Nothing to show for it.
Considering what happened to JD on the first 2 pitches of that at bat, that's a pretty solid result. One more look at Yasiel Puig.
In his favor, that ball was hit high in the air, so he was able to get back to the warning track, time his leap well above the fence to take a home run away from JD Martinez.
Should have been gone. What do you write in the notebook now? Don't hit it to Puig.
Yeah.
1-0. Slices one the other way. Taylor at the trip. But the Diamondbacks get at least 1 home run, 394 feet the other way off the bat of Jake Lamb, his 24th of the year, and it's a 3-2 ball game. Back within 1 as we start the 7th inning. Fans don't miss one of the biggest matchups of the year here at Chase Field coming up this weekend as the world champion Chicago Cubs come in for a 3-game set starting on Friday. And Friday is free 90s post-game street concert night featuring Sugar Ray's Mark McGrath. That's presented by Crystal Pepsi. Get your tickets for the D-backs and the Cubs right now at dbacks.com. Sanderson Ford bullpen is busy with Zach Godley back out there to start the 7th at 89 pitches. And Jock Peterson, the center fielder, leads it off. Diamondbacks have the shift on for Peterson, who was grounded out, struck out 0 for 2. Peterson hitless now in his last 19 at bats. The right-hander down there is David Hernandez for the Diamondbacks. Andrew Chafin, the lefty. Another one-run game between these two clubs. Dodgers lead at 3-2. That's what happened in the last series over the 4th of July week in Los Angeles. Diamondbacks got swept, but they lost 4-3, 1-0, and 5-4. 3 one-run losses.
Yeah, that's really been a turnaround since the early part of the season. Before June 28th, the Diamondbacks were 17-7 in one-run games. Since June 28th, they're 3-11.
Boy, it's those. It always goes back to those timely hits.
Yep.
You're one hit away. And you can't squander too many chances against this Dodger club. Last time they lost a series was June 5th through the 7th. Tremendous catch by Yasiel Puig. Otherwise, we would be all tied up right now. 3-3. Took a home run away from J.D. Martinez in the bottom of the 6th. Peterson hits one deep to center. Pollock backing up. AJ's got it. Just under the home run porch out there. One down.
A lot of loud outs in this ball game for both ball clubs. Diamondbacks have chased the Dodger outfielders back to the warning track and the wall several times. A.J. Pollock takes extra bases away from Jock Peterson at the wall in center field.
He's a Gold Glover out there, A.J. Pollock. Here is Puig. Singled his last time up. Hard ground ball deep to third for an infield hit. Puig's been pulling the ball more than ever this year. Half of everything Yasiel Puig hits goes to the left side of the field. He's become one of the game's most consistent pull hitters this year.
But that being said, no shift on the infield for the Diamondbacks, and A.J. Pollock has shaded a few steps over into the gap in right center.
There's Turner Ward, Dodger hitting coach.
Well, he's had a lot to laugh about this year.
Yeah. That happens when you're the hitting coach for a team that's won 44 of its last 51. A lot of smiles, and sure enough, Puig pulls that one to third. Zach Godley trying to get his 21 outs here. Pitcher spot is due up, and we'll get Kyle Farmer, the rookie catcher. Just about a week or so ago had a big walk-off hit for the Dodgers, beat the Giants on a Sunday night game. Farmer only 5 games into his big league career. 2 hits, couple of RBIs. Called up from the minors for his big league debut. A week ago Sunday, it was his first ever major league game, and he beat the Giants with a walk-off double in the 11th inning. And with a pinch hitter, brings a pitching coach visit, Mike Butcher. So the Dodgers will hit Farmer for Baez here with 2 outs in the 7th. Brandon Morrow has been a nice pickup for the LA bullpen. Looks like he'll get the home half of the 7th inning. Diamondbacks will have the lower third of their order due up. Ionetta Marte in the pitcher spot. Godley trying to finish off the top of the 7th. Kyle Farmer, 8th round pick by the Dodgers. He's a Georgia Bulldog, drafted 4 years ago. 26-year-old rookie. Bunker down, you hairy dogs. Farmer has split this year between AA Tulsa, AAA Oklahoma City. And he's really hit well between the 2 levels, .326. Godley jumps ahead 0-2. Baxter, big crowd here. Expect big crowds all homestand long. 3 against the Dodgers, 3 against the Cubs, and 2 against the Houston Astros. The shortstop, it's through Marte. Really tough hop for Cattell there, who tried the backhander. And it's a 2-out single for Kyle Farmer.
Hard hit to the backhand side right there.
left fielder Chris
I don't think Marte could have taken the extra step to get in front of that ball. Easier to make the backhanded play and put yourself into a throwing position, but it just took a squirrely hop over his glove on into left field.
So Torey Lovullo is going to end Zach Godley's night right here. He'll go with the right-hander David Hernandez to face Chris Taylor. Able to finish off the 7th inning. So with 2 outs and a man on, he'll give way to the right-hander David Hernandez. After Kyle Farmer's 2-out pinch hit single, Hernandez's Chase Field debut after being reacquired by the Diamondbacks, answering the Ashline call to the bullpen. He's been a terrific pickup here at the trade deadline, and he's had a very good year. Acquired from the Angels. Chris Taylor, the leadoff man, 1 for 3, is the hitter with Farmer at first and 2 outs.
And a pitcher spot due up third for the Diamondbacks in the bottom half of the 7th inning. So David Hernandez is just going to be asked to get 1 out here.
And it's a big out to get because the big boys are coming up next. Seager, Turner, Bellinger. So you'd like to end this inning right here. Hard sliders a strike, and it's 1-1. He said it was a strike.
That's the Pedro Baez strike. Yeah.
Been interesting. Popped up and out of play.
And just like Yasmani Grandal, you get that call 6 or 8 inches off the outside corner. Chris Iannetta went right back out there again.
Well, if they give it to you once, he's supposed to keep giving it to you, right?
Well, sometimes.
If you're looking for consistency, you've come to the wrong place.
A slider down low and away. Too far away.
Corey Seager would be next. He's 0 for 3. Got him. Challenged him with a high fastball. Hernandez ends the 7th. Diamondbacks trail it 3-2.
Half of the 7th inning. Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Well, only 5 runs in the game so far. D-backs trail it 3-2. And on to work the home half of the 7th inning from the LA bullpen. It's the right-hander Brandon Morrow, who is 4-0 in 24 relief appearances with the Dodgers this year. He's got 31 strikeouts. He's walked only 4 batters.
He's been really good anywhere, but especially on the road this season. 10 road games totaling 9 1/3 innings pitched, 1 earned run, opponents hitting 3 for 31. That's an .097 average on the road against Morrow.
Well, Chris Iannetta started the Diamondbacks scoring a home run to lead off the 5th, and now Chris leads off the 7th. Hit it onto the home run porch in right center field, his 9th of the year. Chris Iannetta, 20 of his last 25 hits have been for extra bases.
Got a cement mixer slider that time from Maeda. It was spinning like a slider, but it didn't break like a slider. Chris Iannetta walloped it out of here to center field.
You want this one, or should I take it?
That's a high breaking ball. It's probably in the strike zone.
All right. Looks like a slider. Might be a hard cutter from Morrow. Grandal wants it elevated. Iannetta bangs it toward the right field corner, but foul. 99 miles an hour. Morrow's always been a hard thrower. A former starter, now a successful relief pitcher. He's averaged more than 1 strikeout per inning during his entire career. That Brewers game's gone final, by the way. Tony Watson, a former Pirate, just acquired by the Dodgers. The left-hander starts warming up. Rockies 4-1 losers at Cleveland. Brewers beaten up at Minnesota 11-4. The 2 teams right ahead and behind the Diamondbacks in the wild card race have both lost. .99 miles an hour. It stays 1-2. Ketel Marte 2 for 2 so far on deck. .100 misses, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Chris now with 9 homers this year. 6 of those home runs have either tied the game or given the Diamondbacks the lead. Boy, he's really protecting up there, fighting off 99 and 100. Settle for a single. Chris's second hit tonight.
Oh, what a good battle that time by Chris Iannetta. Morrow throwing harder and harder as the at bat went on. And there's that 2-strike slider. Catches just enough plate for Chris Iannetta to shoot it down that right field line for the leadoff single.
He's the tying run. We got over there in a hurry. Iannetta does not run particularly well, so He'll stay at first for Ketel Marte, who is 2 for 2, a pair of singles. Turner in on the grass at third, a step or two.
I thought we might see Gregor Blanco running over there at first base, since that is the tying run in the game.
That one off the glove of Grandal, and Arnetta gets a free 90 feet.
Uncut fastball just clanked off the mid of Yasmani Grandal. Wasn't anywhere near the spot he was supposed to throw it, but that's a pitch I'm sure Grandal will tell you he should have caught.
Arnetta is at second, a 1-0 count on Marte. Pitcher spot up next. Chris Herman is in the on-deck circle. Turner still in on the grass at third, but he can't wander too far away from that bag now. 99-mile-an-hour fastball in, and it's 1-1. Ketel 2 hits today, had 2 hits Sunday in San Francisco. So he's now hit safely in 8 straight games and 11 of his last 13. He's been a very productive hitter as of late. One ball and 2 strikes. Diamondbacks had first and second, no outs in the first. Could not get a run home. They had Marte at third with no outs in the fifth following the Arnetta home run. And he was left stranded there. Now they've got the tying run at second. No outs in the seventh. 1-2 on Ketel Marte. Got him.
Productive out right there. Would have loved to seen a ground ball to the right side to move Arnetta to third with only 1 out in the inning, but couldn't get to it.
Well, Chris Herman announced as the pinch hitter. Dave Roberts has a lefty Tony Watson ready in his bullpen. So we'll take a break. Tying runs at second here in the seventh. Home half of the seventh inning with 1 out and the tying run in scoring position at second base. Chris Herman, the left-hand batter, announced as the pinch hitter. Dave Roberts counters with his left-hand reliever Tony Watson, and now Torey Lovullo has recalled Herman, and Adam Rosales is out in the on-deck circle, so it will be Rosales from the right side against Watson from the left.
mentioned Watson and Tony Cingrani coming over to the Dodgers, giving them 2 left-handed pitchers to go along with Luis Avilan down in that bullpen.
Diamondbacks have got to find a way to get that run home from second. Chris Iannetta out there after a single and a wild pitch. And following the Marte strikeout, here's Rosales. Adam 4 for 15 in 4 games with the Diamondbacks. He has struck out 7 times in those 15 at bats. Iannetta at second with a 1 out. Fastball's a strike and it's 0-1. Both these guys were trade deadline acquisitions. Rosales came to the Diamondbacks from the Oakland A's, and Watson went to LA from the Pittsburgh Pirates, both on July 31st. Oh, 0-2. Diamondbacks have been out hit 8-6. Each team has left 4. Hit him. Not the worst thing ever for the Dodgers, because now they've got Watson, the left-hander, out there to face Peralta. And they've always got the chance of the double play ball.
Ouch. Man, right on the outside of the ankle there. Yikes. Painful way to get on.
Well, they'll need a big hit from Peralta here. 2 on and 1 out. Everybody thinking the same thing here. Beat LA. David doubled to lead off the ball game. He is 1 for 3 tonight. He's hitting .267 versus lefties this year, including 2 home runs. Iannetta is the tying run at second. Rosales the go-ahead run at first.
David 1 for 4 lifetime against the Dodger left-hander. The one hit was a double. He's one of those right now.
Tapper, it gets by Morrow. He's got to hustle with a bag, and they got him. A nice shovel pass right there as the Diamondbacks runners move up. Awfully close at first. Torey Lovullo wants to check with Alan Campbell, the video coordinator.
But not an easy play for Bellinger. He's got to go with a backhanded toss to a moving target, try to lead him to the base. That's a great play right there by Tony Watson. Looked like his toe caught the bag just before David got there.
And Torey will say, what the heck, let's challenge. Torey doesn't often use or risk his challenge when it's kind of a 50-50-ish call. Check the toe.
Really tough to tell. He might have had his toe right up against the base. The first look he came up short, but then he pushed his foot forward. Really tough to tell.
Crew chief Hunter Wendelstedt on the right there. First base umpire who made the call, Alfonso Marquez, on the left as New York takes a look. No one is warming up in the Dodger bullpen. So they'll leave Watson, the left-hander, in if nothing happens here against A.J. Pollock. Diamondbacks will have second and third, 2 outs. Let's take a look. These are in sync, our 2 different angles here from our Fox Sports Arizona crew in the truck.
When the foot comes down, he's just short of the bag, but he kind of slid forward.
Kind of looks like the toe slid into the bag. I think you're right.
It's going to be tough to overturn this call.
Yeah. He is out. But worth risking the challenge given the situation. So now second and third, 2 down for A.J. Pollock. A.J. walked his first time up tonight. He's 0 for 2. He has struck out flat out. Go-ahead run is in scoring position. Rosales is at second. Iannetta the tying run at third. Pollock gets the free pass, and they'll work to Lamb. Jake Lamb led off the 6th against Pedro Baez with his 24th home run. It's our Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing Cool Play of the game. So Jake is up there, down a run, 2 outs, bases loaded, bottom 7. And Jake struggles against left-hand pitchers have been well documented. He's batting 143 versus lefties this year. But he has homered 4 times against left-handers. Iannetta tying run at third. Rosales go-ahead run at second. Pollock aboard at first. Sliders is striking. It's 0-2. Ouch.
Fastball tailing inside. Jake gets a piece of it, fouls it off that front foot.
Tying run 90 feet away. Go ahead run in scoring position. 1-2 on Jake Lamb. In the air, right field corner. Puig on the run. It's gone! A grand slam for Jake Lamb! There's the big hit, Diamondback fans. We've been waiting for weeks now, and boy, it came at the perfect time. How about that? That is a jumbo jack. A free jumbo jack tomorrow. That's a Lamb slam. Here comes Goldie, and listen to Chase Field.
He may not have many hits against left-handed pitching, but the ones he has have been huge.
Did that against some Dodger lefties back in LA.
In San Francisco, a couple of opposite field hits against Chicago, rather. Justin Wilson.
Yeah. This place has come to life. A grand slam by Jake Lamb.
Had been third in the major leagues in inherited runners scoring against the bullpen. The Diamondbacks are #1 in the majors. The Yankees second. The Dodgers are third until that grand slam.
2-1 on Paul Goldschmidt. Full count. JD Martinez on deck. Martinez had a home run taken away back in the 6th inning. Yasiel Puig went above the fence to take a home run away. Lamb slam has made it 6-3 Diamondbacks. Here's the 3-2. Goldie drives one to left. And it's off the wall.
Quick swing by Goldie. Another line drive down into that left field corner. Playing the matchups here hasn't worked out quite as well as Dave Roberts was hoping for. This is only the 3rd game for Tony Watson as a member of the Dodgers, and really the first time he's been touched up like this.
Ross Stripling, the right-hander, gets busy. They'll give Martinez the free pass and work to the lefty Descalso. He tried this last time, and Lamb hit a grand slam. 9th man to bat, and the D-backs 7th. Descalso 0 for 3. Two on and 2 out. Each team now with 8 hits. There go the runners. No throw. It's a strike. Single can tack on 2 more. 16th stolen base of the year for Goldie, the 3rd for JD Martinez.
Not even a throw. Justin Turner didn't break for the bag at 3rd. Yasmani Grandal didn't even come up out of his crouch.
That stays fair at first, backhanded by Bellinger. But the Diamondbacks send 9 men to the plate. 4 score, all courtesy of Jake Lamb. It's the Lamb slam, and it's 6-3 Diamondbacks.
By pitch to Jake Lamb before that grand slam. 94-mile-an-hour fastball inside off the plate. A front door slider that gets the called strike. Slider that missed down low and away. A fastball up. He's fouled off. Had a good rip at that one right there. Fouls another fastball off that front foot. And then a hanging slider. Kind of an awkward swing. Got out in front just a little bit, but got the barrel on it and bangs it off that foul pole in right field. You know, another guy that used to hit home runs like that when he was slightly fooled by off-speed pitches is that guy right there, Luis Gonzalez. Scoop him.
Well, Jake Lamb gets his second career grand slam, and it's time to bring in the beard. Archie Bradley Beards handed out before the game today. And boy, this is apropos as Archie is on to start the 8th inning. But he's going to have to work his way through the heart of this LA order. Corey Seager, Justin Turner, and Cody Bellinger due up 2, 3, and 4 in the Dodger 8th. It's the Ash line call to the bullpen as they bring in the beard. Seager 0 for 3, fouls that one off.
Boy, before that Jake Lamb grand slam home run, the Diamondbacks had been 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position, but all is forgiven.
That was the big hit that they've waited so long for. Oh boy, Seager just fights it off and dunks it in the other way. It's a leadoff single, his first hit tonight.
Third baseman, Justin Turner.
Here's Turner, who has homered in each of his last 2 at-bats. Both off Zach Godley. So that's 4 homers in his last 3 games, Justin Turner. This is a facial hair matchup for the gauges. That's a strike, says Alan Porter. What do you think? Archie's is a little more luscious.
A little red tint to Archie's, but nothing like Justin Turner's. I mean, that's full-blown orange.
He looks like he just walked out of a Lord of the Rings movie. Whip shot to shortstop. Marte to Scalzo. Hey, roll it.
Ball was rolling by the time it got to Marte. Wasn't sure if the D-backs had enough time, but Marte unleashes a strong throw to Daniel Descalso, who does the same to Paul Goldschmidt. Nice double play.
Base is empty, 2 down. Cody Bellinger. Shift is on, and there's strike 1. Bellinger doubled and scored in the 4th, 1 for 3 tonight. He has homered in 4 of his 6 games this month, but Archie's ahead 0-2. Working quickly here. This place has come alive. Here's the 0-2. Center field, A.J. Pollock. They brought in the beard, and he got 3 big outs. Let's get this thing going. 6-3 D-backs.
we like to say you have to give credit where credit is due. Our producer Brian P. Henry said as we left our location where we watched the game to head out to the set, and I quote, "The biggest moment of this game is yet to happen yet."
Yes.
And we just saw it, didn't we?
And we did. And thankfully, because we were losing, now we're up, so it's looking good for us.
But it's not over yet.
It's not over yet. There's definitely a lot of games. Archie Bradley shut down inning there in the 8th. Looking good. So we got Fernando Rodney tonight, looks like.
We'll have it all for you on the post-game show, Diamondbacks Live, right after this one is over. So guys, bring it home. Love that pesky pole out there and right. Steve Berthium.
Oh, good call there, T. Good call. It made that sound that BB likes so much.
Bong.
The right-hander Ross Stripling on to work the 8th inning. As Chris Iannetta, who has homered and singled tonight, 2 for 3, leads off the 8th. So I think, Bob, I've been able to grasp after listening to the segment there what Webby was trying to get at is we were losing, and now we're ahead.
Now we're ahead.
Yeah. Here's Chris Gable. We're ahead because of Jake Lamb, the Lamb Slam. Here's your headline, your back page headline for tomorrow. Lamb slams Dodgers. Archie Bradley, 3 outs in the 8th inning. And Fernando Rodney warming up in the Diamondback bullpen. Look inside the Sanderson Ford bullpen. Fernando Rodney leads all major league relievers with an opponent batting average of .094 since May the 1st. He's been outstanding. But you know that Rodney wants to erase the memory of his last appearance against the Dodgers, which was one of the biggest games of the year for Diamondback fans.
He forgot about that a long time ago.
You know what? I think you're 100% right.
Yeah, that's the best attribute a closer can have is a short memory.
No, Alfonso Marquez. It's full 3-2. Iannetta, Ketel Marte in the pitcher's spot, 7, 8, 9 in the Diamondbacks 8th against Ross Stripling. Yanks it in front of Tony Perez Chica at 3rd. Iannetta homer to lead off the 5th, singled and scored to lead off the 7th. Full count, 3-2. Squibb shot to second. Forsythe has to come a long way to get that one, but they get Chris at first. CenturyLink brings us what's next. Game 2 of this 3-game series. How's about this for a pitching matchup? A couple of National League All-Stars going head-to-head. Zach Greinke for the Diamondbacks and Alex Wood, the Dodger lefty, who's 13-1 this year. Diamondbacks live pregame show at 6 o'clock on Fox Sports Arizona. First pitch 6:40. Diamondbacks did announce, by the way, that Anthony Bonda will start Thursday against Yu Darvish. But Greinke and Wood tomorrow. Ketel Marte 2 for 3. Trying to bunt his way on. Wow, that is a really nice play by Ross Stripling. Scooped that up and ran down Marte all in one motion.
A little bit harder. If he gets it past Stripling, it's probably a base hit, but that's an outstanding defensive play right there. Applies the tag as Marte tried to get around the Dodger pitcher and get to the base.
Now Gregor Blanco will be the hitter. Alan Campbell and Torey Lovullo, Alan Porter, pardon me, and Torey Lovullo having another conversation out here. And Blanco is announced as the hitter for the pitcher Archie Bradley.
Archie, great shutdown inning there in the 8th inning. Did give up the leadoff hit to Corey Seager on a check swing to the opposite field, but got the double play ball, the fly ball to center, and came off the mound pumping his fist, got the crowd into it.
Great atmosphere, especially behind the Diamondback dugout. All the season ticket holders who've hung in with this team for a while and have Really been rewarded over the course of this year. 1-0 to Blanco. Turner in on the grass at third. Last time the Dodgers gave up 6 runs in a ball game, July 21st. That was 14 games ago. Dodgers in the 9th inning. We'll have Yasmani Grandal, Logan Forsythe, and Jock Peterson do up 5, 6, and 7 against Fernando Rodney. Grandal, the catcher, will lead it off. 2-1 on Gregor Blanco. Both teams closest to the Diamondbacks in the NL wild card race have already lost. Colorado, which was a half game ahead of the D-backs at the start of play today, 4-1 losers at Cleveland. Brewers were 5.5 back. They were beaten 11-4 at Minnesota. Blanco strikes out. So here we go. It's a 6-3 ball game, 9th inning. Get the bow and arrow ready. Here comes Fernando Rodney. And the Diamondbacks are 3 outs away as they lead at 6-3. Well, this is an oddity here, BB. Since July 4th, the only team in baseball that's been able to beat these guys, for whatever reason, is the Atlanta Braves. The Dodgers are 20-0 against everybody else since the 4th of July.
Well, you talk about video scouting. I think I would pull up those games that the Braves played against the Dodgers and see how they pitch these guys, see if there's something maybe undiscovered about how to get these Dodgers out, how to hit the Dodger pitching staff. The Braves have obviously figured it out.
Well, it's in the hands of Fernando Rodney, 3rd in the league with 25 saves. He owns a 7-game scoreless streak, but of course Fernando would like to erase the memory of that blown save in LA. The last time these two teams met each other on July 6th, Rodney came in 9th inning with a 4-1 lead, and LA won it 5-4. And a chance to erase that one here as Grandal leads it off. Grandal, Forsythe, and Peterson 5, 6, and 7 for LA in the 9th. Yasmani Grandal doubled his last time up. He's 1 for 3. Defensive alignment against the switch hitting Dodger catcher. Ketel Marte, the shortstop, almost right behind the bag at second. Fastball's a strike, and it's 1-1.
Here's the split changeup from Fernando Rodney. Opponents are hitting only 115 against that pitch. He's not given up a hit on that changeup since the middle of May. Two and one. Fastball missed, and it's 3 balls and a strike. Forsythe on deck. He walked the leadoff man.
Second baseman, Logan.
And here's a guy, as we'd mentioned, that you have to throw strikes to. It's Logan Forsythe, who swings a lot less often than most guys, works, counts, takes his walks. And he's already walked more this year than he did all of last season in Tampa Bay. He has walked. He's got an RBI single tonight, 1 for 2. Fastball's a strike, and it's 0-1. Hard to shortstop. Marte knocks it down. They get 1. And that's it. Ketel Marte, nice job just to keep that in front of him, and they're able to cut down the lead man, Grandal.
He stayed with it. That one got him right in the midsection. I'm not so sure he got any leather on that ball, but presence of mind to shovel on to Descalso to get the force at second, and of course I did beat that relay throw to first.
Jock Peterson 0 for 3 tonight. He is hitless in his last 20 at bats. Forsythe has bad knees, does not run all that well. He'll stay put. Diamondbacks will keep the shift on, more of a shade than a shift, really. Marte will stay just on the shortstop side of second. You see where Jake Lamb is at third, toes on the grass. And Goldie holding Forsythe on the bag at first.
Now we have seen Peterson attempt to bunt, or at least show bunt, against this exaggerated pull shift. That's why Jake Lamb is in at the edge of the grass.
Peterson is really slumping right now. Over his last 19 games, he's hit a .133. So it's been a slow second half. Changeup is in there, and it's 1-2. Los Angeles Dodgers have won 44 of their last 51. That's the best 51 game stretch in baseball since the 1912 New York Giants. Diamondbacks trying to take game 1 of a 3-game set. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
That Bugs Bunny changeup. Tailing down and away from Peterson. He took one for a strike earlier in the sequence, way out in front that time.
Here's Puig. What a start this is. A critical stretch for the Diamondbacks. 10 straight games against first place division leaders, the Dodgers, the Cubs, and the Astros. 3 teams headed for the postseason. The Diamondbacks hope to join them. The Rockies have lost. The Brewers have lost.
1-2, a strike away. What a start to the homestand, the biggest and most competitive homestand they'll play all year. And Jake Lamb comes up with a Lamb slam. That's the difference in a 6-3 D-backs win.
And you really have to give a lot of credit to the entire pitching staff, Zach Godley included, giving up 3 runs to this high-powered Dodgers offense and stopping the damage right there, turning the ball over to the bullpen. They put zeros on the board. Great first game of this homestand.
They leapfrog the Rockies for that first National League wild card spot. That wild card game will be played Wednesday, October 4th. And fans, we want to keep it right here. Back with more after this.